started. So thank you to everyone coming to us from Eventbrite. We are Ama Vida. We are a life, health and wellness, leadership, and career coaching company. And my name is Justice, and I am a sales manager and a relationship strategist here on the team. And what that means is when you have something you want to talk about with a coach, be it whatever that is, you're going to end up on one of the people on my team's calendar, and we're going to have a half-hour conversation where I ask you deeper questions to learn more about your situation, what your goals are, and how we can better get you there. And then during that call, I'm going to pair you up with one of the coaches that I think are most appropriately suited for that, given that coach's particular backgrounds, personality, and skill set. So with all of that being said, if anyone has anything front of mind that they would like to have a conversation about, I'm going to go ahead and drop the link to my calendar. It is first come, first serve. And anybody who comes to us from a webinar event, if you make sure to indicate that, you get your first session free. So that is something to consider as you're thinking about budgeting and anything like that. All right, Libby, do you want to go to the next slide for me, please?
Yeah, and I want to stop and do a shameless plug because the calls with Justice's team, do not underestimate these calls. People love them. Everyone on his team is so nice. So if you are even thinking about coaching or you want to know more, absolutely recommend that you grab a consult. It's very low pressure and it's just nice to get a sense of can we help you? Is this right? Very much a discovery call. So very much recommend those.
So real quick, here's our agenda for the call. And thank you so much for that, Libby. So just a quick little introduction. We'll talk about the logistics of how this is going to work because this event is a little bit different than our other webinars if you have attended those in the past. And then we'll get right into the coaching hour. All right, so let's go to next one, please. All right, so we did do the little intro for your Ama Vida. And we help you love your life. That is what Ama Vida translates over to. And so how this is going to work. So we're going to ask anyone who is willing and wants to speak with Libby to come off of mute and or camera and raise your hand to speak with that. Libby will be spotlighted during the presentation, and we're going to prioritize this as people that are willing to come on camera to speak with her first, just so everyone can get a sense of what a real coaching session is like, because our coaching sessions are 45 minutes long and they're on Zoom. So speaking and looking straight at Libby as you're conversing is just a much more personal effect to that. So we'll call on someone at random, come off of mute, please turn on camera, talk about what's going on. We're going to try to get to everyone that raises their hand so we are aware and constantly watching the room. And then if you're uncomfortable with being off on camera or off of mute, you can also feel free to write your question in the chat. And if we have time at the end for that, we will come back to you to do that. So with all of that being said, Libby, do you want to give a quick introduction of yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm very excited to meet everyone. I'm Libby Mikaletti. I am a career and lifestyle coach here at Ama Vida, as well as the director of marketing. So I come from the world of marketing. I spent about 10 plus years working at ad agencies, which for anyone who's maybe not familiar, ad agencies are pretty well known for being aggressive places to work. They have long hours, not great pay, high turnover, lots of burnout, stuff like that. And I was like, this is not the place to be. This is not the life I want to be living. And did a lot of soul searching, became a yoga instructor, moved across the country, did all kinds of stuff, and eventually decided to become a career coach myself so that I could help other people really design lives that are meaningful, that are what they want to be spending their time doing. And that's how I came across Ama Vida and started working with them because our missions were so closely aligned. So I really focus my coaching, and as you may have seen in the advertising, this is a What's Your Purpose coaching hour. We're going to be talking about what do you want to be doing next in your career? How is your career going to fit into your life? If you have other questions kind of related to that, very happy to talk about that as well. So whatever's really on your heart, on your mind. But that's my area of focus and specialization. As I mentioned, I'm also a yoga instructor. So if you have questions about mindfulness and things of that nature that fit into your coaching, we can talk about that as well.
Awesome. So then, Libby, if you want to stop sharing that screen.
Yep.
And then I will spotlight you. And it looks like we have Paige up first. Give me one second.
Perfect. And I'm just going to close the chat so that I'm not distracted.
Perfect.
Because I know, Justice, you'll be monitoring that.
Yep, I got you. All right. Hi, Paige. The floor is yours.
Hi, Paige.
One thing I would like to, before you start, Paige, one thing I forgot to mention, this is being recorded and will be sent out to everyone who registered as well as posted on our YouTube channel. So please keep that in mind when sharing information that might be rather sensitive.
So hi, Libby. Thanks for this session.
Hi.
I think I already know where I want to go. The problem is how to get there. That's why
Yeah.
So I've been a graphic designer in marketing in-house for over a decade.
Good for you.
During COVID, I decided I wanted to change it up. And I know it's extreme, but I really am fascinated by data. So
Great.
I upskilled and did everything I was supposed to maintain or obtain 2 certificates in that area. I volunteered. I even found a role within marketing database, but it was short-lived because they restructured. So I was laid off yet again. So I know my resume is not fluid. I know it's probably like, what is this person doing? I've tried to network as well. I'm trying to stay upbeat, but I'm finding it very difficult because I send resume, I get 0 back, not even an interview. So do you have any advice, suggestions? I know pivots are not easy, but over 2 years is a lot, almost 3 years.
Oh, that's so frustrating. My heart goes out to you because that sucks.
Yes.
So
That's
I'm
the
really,
word.
really sorry that you're dealing with that. Like coming, first of all, to like be in a role that you're in for a long time and you're not happy. You finally get the courage to make a change. You go through everything you're supposed to do, get a job, and then get laid off. And now here you are. And yeah, that's so frustrating. That sucks so hard. I'm so sorry, Paige. Yes, there are definitely things you can and should be doing. I'm going to take a step back from coaching and get a little more tactical with you right now and just kind of talk bigger picture about like the approach and things to think about. Because this is kind of a tactical question. So this is my opinion and my opinion only. Job boards are the worst and they're not a great use of time. So it's never bad, right, to keep an eye on it. If you see a job application that you're excited about, go for it. Absolutely. My general guideline that I tell all my clients is that if you aren't excited to spend at least 2 hours on the job application, skip it. Don't bother. You're nodding your head. It sounds like you know all of this stuff, so that's great. But I would definitely take a look at networking and informational interviewing. So I'm going to point you and Justice, remind me, we're going to send out a link in the recap so that you can get this, is a webinar by Coach Sherry that talks about informational interviewing. And I think we actually have another one coming up soon, if I'm remembering in the back of my head. I think it's there. I think informational interviewing is gold. Like, it doesn't get better than that. And here's why. Have you done, before I go into all this, have you done much informational interviewing?
Oh, tons.
Tons.
And
okay.
Brings up another problem.
Okay,
so
then I'm going to stop talking. We will share that webinar for anyone who else is listening. We'll send that out. It's really beneficial. But yes, go ahead, Paige.
So everybody means well, and I'm not discounting that. But it's either you need to do more or, you need to move to a different area. So I feel like I'm at overload because, yes, I do agree I need to learn more, but I need to apply what I've learned so far in a job because I don't even know what that really looks like because the industry is so broad. You see what I'm saying? And so I appreciate all these advice, but it's still not getting me anywhere. It's actually bringing me down because I'm like, oh no, I don't know this, I don't know that, right?
Okay. What questions are you asking when you do your information? I'm just being curious now. What questions are you asking on these informational
I'm asking
interviews?
about their job, how they got into that role. Was data something or analytics something that they were passionate about? And is that why they got into their role? And sort of just kind of get an overview of what it took to get them to where they're at. And, even somebody who's, say, a marketing analyst will be like, oh, you need to look at product or you need to look at project management.
You're like, Excuse me, I didn't ask for your advice on this. Rude. That's awesome. I think those are great questions, and that's a great place to start. I'm curious, what can we do in terms of honing the questions so that you're guiding the conversation more? And maybe that's even setting up the conversation more of what, like setting those expectations, right? So that they know that you don't actually want their advice as to whether or not this is the area. Like, okay, thanks, not what I asked. In a really gentle, like kind, grateful way of, I'm certain that this is what I want, right? Okay. I know that I want to be in data. This is something I'm really passionate and excited about. I've done a lot of soul searching. Would love to chat with you and understand how you broke into the industry. And who else should I be talking to? What do you think about your company? Tell me about the culture at your company. What do you think about that?
Yes, I like that. I think it's just, you can't control what people are going to tell you, right? You can ask until you're blue in the face. But yeah, I agree with you. It's just a lot of investing in time and investing in getting them to give you the right information.
Yeah, that's super interesting. Yeah, absolutely. And I would love to, so it sounds like you're doing all the right things, which is a blessing and a curse, right? It's so great to be like, cool, I'm doing everything right. And then it's like, I wish I was doing something wrong so I could fix it. It does sound like you're doing all the right things. I would say, mostly for the sake of like the folks on the call who are hearing it, I'm assuming you're doing this because you seem very much on it. Really making sure that your like resume is super crisp, clean, for the applicant tracking systems for any online applications, networking your booty off, taking roles that are maybe, I don't love like a bridge role, but like sometimes if you're really like losing heart, you can like take a job that's kind of getting you closer. Can be nice. It's tough. And I think that's something that we often talk about, even in my initial calls with folks who are looking at like, why should I hire a career coach? It's like, part of it is that we're your cheerleaders and we help you keep going because this is so hard.
Yes.
But it sounds like you're doing all the right stuff.
I appreciate it. I think that's the thing. It's just, I want it now, but they're not ready now.
You'll get there. You're doing all the right things. The other thing that you can do, I don't know that this is perfect. I don't recommend this to most people because I think that there is this bigger, the things that we've just talked about, I think are kind of foundational and super important. There are services. The one that I'm thinking of off the top of my head is called JobStep. And they do your resume. They actually do applications for you, and they have connections with tech companies. They're a little more tech focused. And there's a fee, but they guarantee a certain number of interviews in a given window. I don't know that they do data analytics, but if you wanted to reach out to them, could be an interesting place. There's also, while we're at it, have you looked at like creative service contractor roles?
Yep. Yeah. They want somebody turnkey.
Rude.
Yeah. So like I said, I don't want to hold up the group because I'm sure there are others that would love to talk to you, but I'm glad that you are, confirming that I am on the right tracks. It's just, there's so many paths. So yeah.
Yeah. Stick to your guns. Don't let anyone talk you out of it. You're doing great. Like, I'm really impressed. You're doing all the right things.
Thank you.
Thanks, Paige.
Thank you so much, Paige.
And I just saw in the chat, it's called JobStep, STEP. We'll send it in the follow-up. We can do that resource.
Perfect. All right. Next up, we have Louisa. Louisa, do you want to come on camera for us, please? So I can pin.
Okay. I'm on my phone, so not sure if my
No worries.
but I hope
That's
you can
fine.
hear me well.
Yep, that's
Yep,
totally
we can
fine.
hear you great.
Okay, good. So some background on me. I'm 21. I just started my first full-time job ever in product marketing.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. And I feel like I like it, but
Okay.
I will also start my master's in October. So my job is just a contract of 6 months. And my job currently is product marketing, and my master is also gonna be digital marketing and business. But my question was actually, how do I know if a 9 to 5 is the right thing for me, or if I should start exploring freelancing or entrepreneurship? Because I'm constantly thinking about this, not sure if a 9 to 5 is the right fit for me, but also not sure if I would actually enjoy having my own business at some point or something. And I always wonder, how do I get to know if it's the right option? Because I would like to start as soon as possible to learn stuff for later. And yeah.
Ooh, Louisa, I'm so excited to dig into this with you. I'm very excited.
Okay.
This is perfect. So first of all, love this. I'm so excited that first of all, congrats on getting a job, starting, like getting your feet wet. I think that's fantastic. I love that you're thinking so much, like these are the right questions to be asking, right? Where do I want to be going? Should I be doing this? I think that's really normal, especially at 21. Like you're really ahead of the curve in terms of that. My first question, right? What's the dream? What's your dream right now that you're hoping to build towards?
My dream is kind of to have a more creative work than I have right now. So I would like to be more creative. I would like to maybe work on different projects and not just one thing. But I also like having stability a lot and like not
Okay.
risking too much, but also like working from whenever I want, wherever I want, maybe. So like
Okay.
more like remotely would be also cool. Yeah.
Okay. So remote work sounds really appealing to you.
Yeah.
Creativity sounds really appealing to you, and stability, right? So
Yeah.
entrepreneurship is not going to ever be the most stable career. So I'm guessing that's why you're a little nervous about freelance and entrepreneurship. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I love this. I'm going to pivot for a second. What prompted you, like, what's the goal in getting your master's?
That's interesting because I wanted to learn more about marketing as in like theory, because I didn't learn about it at all before my job, only in
Okay.
like an internship. But
Okay.
the most intriguing thing about the master was actually the business part, because I never had any classes on business and I really want to learn business. So I can also know if that's something interesting for me.
Okay. So it's really about getting what's your undergrad degree in?
It's actually like translation and languages. So it's something completely different.
That's so cool though. I love that.
Thank you.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense then. Normally, I'm not a huge proponent of going and getting a master's if you don't know what you want to be doing. It does make sense if you're getting kind of a broader business degree and you don't have that background to learn that theory. I think I have an undergrad and a graduate degree in business and marketing, and I do think having that foundation is just always beneficial and helpful, but that's sheerly my opinion, and you can ignore my advice entirely on that front. It's just curious. When you say that you're interested in a more creative role and more creativity in your day-to-day job, what does that look like to you in your mind?
I feel like something more creative would be, so right now I'm doing a lot of repetitive tasks, I feel like.
Mm-hmm.
And just like being able to just start my own idea without having to depend on so many other people to confirm it. Also, I would like to do something more impactful because of what I feel like my work is not like impacting in a positive way people. I would like to have more an impact on people, to be honest. So that's also, it's not creative, but like it would be more creative to like think of ways how to impact people more. So yes.
Okay. So it's really more about, I'm almost hearing that it's like autonomy and purpose are maybe important words for you. Would you say that's right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So it's not really creativity. You don't want to be the one writing emails. You don't want to be the one drawing the designs in InDesign. You want to be having some autonomy over what it is you're creating on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Those are important distinctions as you're thinking about different jobs, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just thinking, I don't know if you can see me or not. I'm thinking, making a thinking face.
Yeah, I can see you.
Okay, good. So how long have you been at your current job?
4 months.
Okay. And right now I'm hearing that you're a little frustrated because the things that they're giving you to do are pretty tactical.
Yeah, I just feel like I could do so much more. And I feel like
Yeah.
under, like the opposite of burnout, like boredom.
Yeah. Okay. What have you done, just out of curiosity, like what have you done to add learning opportunities to your current role, growth opportunities?
So do you mean like in my work or outside of work?
In your work, in your current role at your
Or
organization?
in my work? I did constantly ask my boss to like teach me new stuff and show me stuff that I could do for her so that I can learn more. So that's what I'm constantly doing, like asking her if I can help her with something, can do something for her. But usually she never has much stuff for me, so that's kind of a problem. But yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's really normal. Both on both ends, right? You don't know what you need to know, and so you're asking her for more learning and development opportunities. And my guess is she's probably busy, or she thinks explaining things to you is going to take too long. And she's like, I just want to do it myself. I've got too much on my plate right now, which is not helpful. That's not great leadership there. What types of things do you specifically want to learn?
I would love to learn so many different new things. To be honest, I don't even know like all of it that exists. So I feel like there's so many job titles that I don't even know what they exactly do. And I would just like to try all of them.
Okay.
So which is my problem because I cannot try everything. So I don't know what I would miss out on. Maybe it's just a stupid fear in my mind.
Yeah, I think, I'm going to say something that's going to be really annoying. Are you ready?
Yeah.
You're only 21.
Yeah.
Which is an annoying thing to say. I wouldn't expect to know everything. And I would start to challenge this idea that you have to know.
Yeah.
So I decided when I was 26, 27, that I wanted to make a shift in my career after being in ads for 5-6 years at that point. And that's not old. 26 is not old by any stretch of the imagination. So starting to think, I think my challenge to you that I would love for you to think about is how can you, first of all, identify things specifically that you want to learn, right? If you can go to your boss and say, I want to learn about XYZ, what are the places that you can tap into, either with your boss, people, peers that you're working with? Hey, what are you doing every day? Can I watch you? Can I sit in on this meeting? Oh, it sounds like someone needs to do more research on XYZ. Let me go help with that. Which is frustrating, but could be an interesting way to start to build up those experiences. So that right now I'm hearing a lot of like, I don't even and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm hearing you say, I don't know what I don't know, but I know that what I'm doing right now doesn't work for me. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah, which is great. That's a perfect place to be right now. It's like, okay, cool. Checked this off the list. Don't love doing that. So starting to think of like, hey, that sounds interesting. Looks like Bobby over there is doing something really cool. I want to know more about what Bobby does. Can I spend a day shadowing Bobby? It's a great place to be. And with that, like, I really challenge you to be unafraid of trying out new things. Whether that's taking a new job, taking a risk, moving somewhere. I think those are all, like, you're going to keep building these experiences. And the more that you build your experiences, the more you're going to hone. I like this. I don't like that. I enjoyed this piece of it, but I didn't enjoy that. It's really hard to do that. When you don't know what you don't know. Like right now you're at 21, you're collecting experiences and you're building your palette of what you enjoy and what you don't enjoy.
Yeah.
And it's frustrating.
And
oh, sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. You basically mentioned that it was good for me to try things, but I'm just wondering, because I was so confused about 9 to 5 or not, how can I try having a business without starting a business? Because I don't want to like actually start because I don't know, you know?
Yeah, that's a great question. I would love to hear what you've rolled around with that. Like any ideas, any places you would start?
I feel like best would be to talk with someone that has a business. But
oh yeah,
it's difficult to find
that.
someone, but yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. You should do that. I think that's a great place to start. What else could you do?
I was thinking maybe of like doing an online course about it.
That would be a great place to start too. Couldn't hurt. What would the online course tell you as far as giving you the experience of not having a 9 to 5?
That's a good question. I don't know.
Okay. Maybe take a job that's not 9 to 5.
Yeah.
You could be an administrative assistant. You could be, work with a founder who doesn't work 9 to 5 and see what that's like. So that way you're not, you're learning, being an administrative assistant or whatever role you might choose. Maybe it would just be in the marketing department for a startup where hours are fully flexible. That could be a way to do it.
Yeah, that's so true.
Or, I mean, you've been in school, you know what that's like, not being 9 to 5.
Yeah, that's true.
And, I think the thing that's funny about having set working hours versus not, is the trade-off is the stability, which is what you were talking about earlier.
Yeah, it's like I have to find out if I want it more or if it's not that important to me in the end.
Yeah. And it's funny, I saw that we have on the call, we have Coach Natalia is one of our amazing coaches, and she talks a lot about this. So maybe some webinars, or if you are interested in coaching, I think she would be an amazing resource for you as well.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Was this helpful, Louisa?
Yes, thank you so much, really.
Okay, cool. What are your next steps? What are you gonna do?
I actually just started yesterday, but I'm gonna like find fields I'm interested in and like dive deeper into the topics to see if I actually enjoy it. And I'll also try to talk with founders in my master's because there are a lot of business people there. So I think it would be easier to ask them questions because they already have a lot of experience as well.
That's a great idea. Yeah. And then maybe see if you can get some additional like shadowing experience and other things at your current job as well to just really optimize that opportunity.
That's true. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. I will remember that.
Amazing. Well, excited, Louisa, keep us posted. Let us know how it goes.
Thank you so much, Louisa. Next up, we have Elizabeth. Elizabeth, do you want to come on camera? Would you do perfect? Let me spotlight you. And there you go. The floor is yours.
Hi.
Is your hair really blue, Elizabeth?
Oh, yeah, no filter.
I love it. That's a hard color to maintain. That blue fades fast.
It does, but it's a nice, like, it fades, like, this is a month into it, and it's really,
wow.
yeah.
It looks great.
Thank you.
I love it. Oh, cool. So what brings you on camera today?
Yeah, maybe this might be like a two-part question. I'm currently facing, I can't tell if I'm facing imposter syndrome or if I'm truly being like realistic about my choices. Those choices are starting a business, creating an app in mental health world.
Yes.
Yeah, and you know, it's so like I'm a spiritual person. I know that I have the answers within myself. I'm just not able to, like, I'm having trouble connecting with my soul and like listening to the universe.
Yep.
But yeah, imposter syndrome, or am I being realistic kind of thing. Like, does that make sense?
Yeah, I think I'm hearing that there's like, you're getting hung up somewhere in terms of moving this app forward.
Yeah.
And you're trying to identify if your fears, right, that you're feeling around it are a reality check for you and there are things that you need to listen to.
Yeah.
Or if you're just like, should push through them and move forward. Is that right?
Yeah, correct. Yeah, I know I'm meant for something great. That's like a huge part of my depression. Like, I'm meant for something great. Just what are those chewable steps?
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm making steps. Yeah, proceed.
Yeah, that's a great question. And I think sometimes when you get, here's the preamble, right? I think when you get big picture stuck, it helps to get tactical. So I'm going to dig in if that's okay. So my first question to you is, where are you finding that you're getting stuck in developing this app?
I feel, I mean, I'm starting a business and I've never started a business, and I have made steps to talk to business consultants and counselors. Sorry, your question was, where am I getting stuck? Yeah, I guess that's it. I'm realizing as I ask myself that, yeah, I don't know how to run a business. I don't know how to start a business. That's it. And yet I know, I mean, I Google everything. I one time Googled, is it normal to have never had a boyfriend at age 28? And sure enough, there were other people. Just, I want everyone.
There's always other people.
There's always other people. So yeah, I mean, so start, like, how to start a business is not the correct question because there are resources out there.
So I'm going to ask a different question actually then.
Yeah.
Because it sounds like, I love where your brain is going on this of like, oh yeah, if that's where I'm stuck, I can find it. So it almost sounds to me like, and you tell me, but it sounds to me like where you're getting stuck is actually like, I'm trying to think of how to say this, but like accountability, having a plan, being able to unblock yourself. Like when you hit these little,
It's all internal.
they're just like, yeah, it's like these little speed bumps and you just need some external support. to push you forward.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I didn't think of that. Yeah, because it takes a village, right? We all need support. Yeah, it is within myself. It's a personal problem.
So what kind of like, obviously you could hire a coach, like, hi, we're here to help. But if that's one option, like, what are the other opportunities that you have to create some structure around building this business?
I have a lot of opportunities, and I know that. What are the opportunities? Oh, sorry, the question again?
So what types of resources can you think of that are out there to help you create more structure and support as you go on this journey?
I do have a coach, Leslie. Shout out to her.
Our coach here at ALB.
Uh-huh.
I love Leslie. I was like, Leslie. Oh, Leslie. Yeah, Leslie's great.
Fantastic. I think it's just about listening. I just gotta listen to these people. I do have the support. Something, and I think it's that spiritual sense that I was talking about of I have the answers in my soul. I just need to listen to them.
Yeah. Well, and especially if you're someone who has dealt, I mean, I don't want to say this as a you thing. I want to say this as an everyone thing. Like, folks who deal with depression, with anxiety, with all of, like, it's really hard to turn down the mind chatter.
Yeah. I think, you're right. Because I have all of that. I have depression, anxiety, PTSD. It's hard. It's hard to brush my teeth sometimes because of those intrusive thoughts. I didn't think of that.
And so has Leslie done any work with you around, in my coach training program, we called it the gremlin, but like basically the name of that crappy voice in your head?
It's a black dog.
The black dog. Does it have a name?
No, it's just a black dog.
Okay. So when you think about the black dog, one of the things that we don't think about, right? So taking a moment, stepping aside, when you're thinking about this like negative voice, however you identify with it, some people it has like a personification, some people name it, whatever it is. It's easy to be like, I just want it to go away. That dog is an asshole. Like, I don't want this here. Those voices are developed in early childhood. They come from, for the most part, I don't want to speak blanket, but I'm not a therapist. To make everyone know. I'm not a therapist, but those voices develop in early childhood, and they develop to protect us. So we learn a lesson in early childhood that is whatever. It's important to be safe, and safety looks like this. It's important to not take risks. It's important to whatever. It's important to be quiet. It's important to be whatever. So those voices, gremlins, whatever you want to call them, the black dog, is there to protect you. It's not actually the enemy. It's actually your friend.
Is that like the difference between your inner child and like this black dog that I'm having?
It's not even different.
Really? Okay.
I mean, I can't speak, but just thinking about it, right? So if you start hearing these like crappy voices that are coming to you saying, you're not good enough, you can't do this, this isn't a place for you to go. And you go, what are you trying to keep me safe from?
Yeah. What are you trying to keep me safe from?
Like, it's trying to protect you from something. And then you go, okay, well, I hear that you're afraid of putting myself out there and failing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, and I'm trying to restructure that whole thought of failure. You know, a failure is just a
forward.
lesson. You know, yeah, what are you trying to, yeah, it's, and that's part of listening to your soul, is asking it questions. What are you trying to keep me safe from? That's really good.
Yeah. Oh, good. I'm glad that's helpful. So, and then you can start to explore that, right? Of like, oh, well, if I'm afraid of failure, how can I hedge those bets? How can I, you know, if this is something that I'm afraid of, what's my backup plan? What happens if I put all this time and energy into developing the app and it fails? What does that mean if it fails? What am I? And you can start to explore that and create a game plan for that, as opposed to just shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up. Because the more you tell it to shut up, the louder it gets.
Yeah. Yeah. And not to hold up the time, I feel like this is expressing itself in, honestly, boredom, which is weird. I am a creative person. You know, look at my fucking background. I'm widely creative, and you know, I'm stopping myself, and then I'm just bored, and I'm like, what do I do? Well, I have things I can do. I don't know if this is making sense or resonating to anyone.
Yeah. So it almost sounds like a defense mechanism, and maybe I'm just labeling it that. It may or may not be, but like,
and it's good to label things. Yeah.
Maybe not. Like, I don't know. But thinking about like, so you have a project that you want to work on, and then you're either scared, you're overwhelmed, you're XYZ, any of those.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
And then you naturally don't want to work on it. And then you go, well, I don't know what to do.
Yeah, but I do know what to do. I like, you know, like it's just my yeah, it's my yeah, internal
yeah. So what it sounds like, if you're feeling overwhelmed, or like if you're feeling like you're getting lost in your head on things, what methods do you use? And I saw someone drop into the chat, like, break it down.
I saw that too. That's really good. You might just be a person that gets bored easily. I never thought of that. Yeah.
And so if you're feeling like, oh, well, I've got this huge, I mean, building an app, it's like no freaking joke. You've got massive amounts that you need to be doing for building an app, for starting a business, for all this other stuff. And so starting to break that down into tasks.
Yeah.
Then you go, I'm bored, I don't know what to do. Well, cool, I'm going to go to my list. And I'm going to spend today bug squashing. I'm going to spend today doing interviews with other founders. I'm going to spend today looking up accelerators who are going to help me get going.
I feel like, and just talking to you, it's like such just a personal problem that I have. So I appreciate you verbalizing those things for me. Yeah, thank you. This added a lot of clarity, because I already know that I have the answers in myself. I just need to, I think it's just the fear that it's fear. And thank you.
So what next steps can you take leading into our next, your next call with Leslie?
What next steps can I take? I think it's just about, I really don't believe in such thing as motivation. We're talking about being bored, and it's just about doing it. It's I'll wait till I get motivation to throw the trash out. That's never gonna come. You just have to do it. So I have a list of things to do, such as creating my business plan, talking to my business counselors and help with that. And it's just, no, I have the faith in myself. It's imposter syndrome for sure. And discipline. I need it. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, and I would think about some times when you've been really productive in the past and what systems work for you. So like some people, like I'm old, so I do like paper, pen, like my own to-do list is like very useful for me. And some people are more digital. Some people like time blocking on their calendar. Some people, so there are a variety of ways that you can keep yourself organized and motivated, right? Whether that's like working in 20-minute chunks, or maybe you only work 2 days in a row and 1 day, or whatever it is, making it very clear what your next steps are. And so figuring out what that process is, and that's something that Leslie can totally help you dig into, of like, when have you been really productive and what worked for that? And how can you then duplicate that in what you're doing now?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think I just ran myself out a little bit when I was motivated, but
which is okay. So maybe you need to like, I don't know, take a break and like actually take a break.
Yeah.
So that you have the energy and emotional capacity.
Yeah.
To like, there's nothing wrong with that. And it doesn't make you a trashy person to like spend a couple days on a couch or hiking or wherever it is that you recharge.
Yeah, I'm really feeling like you're saying this and my feet are tingling because it's like I haven't touched grass, like I haven't stepped in grass in so long. I'm in New York. Yeah, I think that'll really help me connect back to just touching grass. I'm so deprived of grass apparently. Okay,
so that's a perfect activity. So that's maybe your first thing that you're going to do is either head to Central Park or go to like a lake house somewhere, you know, head upstate.
Yeah, or Coney Island, feel some sand.
Coney Island.
Yeah.
You see, you already know where to go. You know what's up.
I do. It's just you know, I'm that person that needs to hear it. I need to hear it from someone. I need that motivation from someone. I'm very much like a words of affirmation person. And well,
then let me tell you, you're doing great and you're going to get there. And it's normal. It's so normal when you're taking on these like big tasks and you know where you want to go and you know what you're trying to do. And then you get stuck. And like, that's literally why us coaches are here, for anyone who's curious. Like, that's what we do, is help you get out of your own way, because exactly to your point, Elizabeth, like, you know what you need.
Yeah, I do. And yeah, maybe it's just time to, because that black dog is just constantly scratching at my door. Yeah, I feel like I just need to open that door and
give the dog a hug.
Give him, pet him.
Pet the dog. Go pet the dog, Elizabeth.
Yes, absolutely. All right.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much, Elizabeth.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I know we only have 10 minutes left. Justice, Are you thinking we should do a lightning round? Do we have anyone else who wants to come off camera?
Does anyone else want to come off camera or come on camera or off mute? Otherwise, we do have a question that just popped up in the chat. So the quick question, when you just graduated, how do you get past an entry-level position that expects 2 to 5 years experience?
Jennifer, are you sure you don't want to talk for a couple minutes? Because we could definitely dig into that.
I just recently graduated with a GIS degree, but it's only an associate's.
What's GIS? Sorry.
Geographic Information Science. So digital mapping, geography. Okay. And, I interned somewhere but they said that the level of work I'm hungry to do really needs a bachelor's degree. But because software is involved, I'd like to get some kind of job to keep my finger on the pulse at the same time as going to school at night. And I just can't work my way in.
Okay, so you have a associate's degree. You said you're working on getting your bachelor's.
Correct.
And you want to have a job while you're getting your bachelor's degree and no one's hiring you.
Correct.
Interesting. Because the reason that they say is because you don't have the required experience.
Correct. They either want a bachelor's degree or work experience.
Oh, so you're like caught in the infinity loop of like, how do I get the experience that I need?
Right. I mean, I was able to get an internship to graduate, but even they recommended a bachelor's degree for
Which you're
this
working
type
on.
of work. Yeah.
Okay. Super interesting. So how are you going about finding these jobs?
I'm still applying to jobs that ask for those requirements.
Yeah, so on job boards.
Yeah, I'm specifically, I like LinkedIn a lot better than most. But I have a feeling that maybe the algorithm kicks me out because I'm lacking those keywords.
Yep, it does. That's exactly what's happening. So were you here at the beginning when I chatted with Paige about job application processes?
No.
Okay.
Well, maybe I was. Are you talking about the first person that asked you?
Yep.
Yes, I was.
Okay. So job boards are frustrating. Any online job application, it's not hopeless. It's not worth your time, but it will have sorry, I'm trying to ignore the chat so I can focus. It will have it just doesn't have a great return on your effort. So networking, tapping the people that you know, doing informational interviews. I'm going quick because I know we're short on time. We'll be sending out the recording to an informational interview webinar that I send to all of my clients, and I'll send the link as well to an upcoming event that we're running. We're basically repeating that webinar with Sherry. Oh, good question. An informational interview. I will respond to this. So an informational interview is you reach out to someone in the field and just chat with them and learn more about their role, how they got there. They're great to do if you're interested in learning about the company, but it's a wonderful way to the real reason you do it is to build your network and not just your information, but connect with other people. So that's really where I would start, is as you are interested in getting these roles, like, oh, I'm getting my bachelor's, but I want to get some real work experience while I'm doing it. How do I do that? Right? Because that's really the question.
Thank you.
You still there? I feel like I'm sensing hesitation from you, Jennifer.
Oh no, I had my I had mute on. Thank you for the.
Is that helpful? Does that are you doing that? Where are you getting stuck?
Where am I getting stuck? I'm not doing informational interviews, so I need to go into that. So that's a great advice. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. I would check that out. I try not to be so like tell you what to do, which is why I'm asking follow-up questions, but.
Yes, no, thank you for your help. I'm also going to try to volunteer, see if there's any ways to volunteer my services somehow.
Yeah, I would say don't let the job boards get you down, because those job applications that you do online they're hard and they're demoralizing. And I think they take a lot of tenacity. So you're going to hear a lot of no's. Don't let them get in your head. You're going to get there.
Thanks for the inspirational words. I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. Thank you so much, Jennifer. And thank you to everyone who did come and stick around with us today. We really appreciate it. Once again, I'm going to drop the link to my calendar as well as our website in case you do want to read a little bit more about Libby, some of the other coaches, and just learn more about us as a company. And then additionally, I'm dropping the links to our YouTube channel for previous recordings as well as Eventbrite for future recordings. Libby, any last minute thoughts for everybody while we got them here?
Yeah, I do. I have a couple last things. So first of all, I really hope this was helpful to people, not only in terms of advice, but just showing you really what coaching is and what you could expect to gain from working with a coach. If you've ever been coaching curious, this is a great place to kind of get that sense of it. So understanding what working with a coach can look like is really why we do this, as well as offering help to anyone who wants it. We'll be sending lots of links and recordings and follow-ups. I know we have a handful of clients on. So if you are a current member at Amalavita, please don't forget that you get $100 off your next month's membership if you refer a friend and they sign up. So absolutely recommend that you take advantage of that and spread the word about Amalavita. And then for any new members or any people who are interested, would love for you to take some time and chat with Justice and the folks on his team, because it is a really helpful experience. Even if you don't end up signing up with us, it's still a really useful call. So with that, I think that's it.
Thank you so much for your time today, Libby. And thank you everyone for participating and sharing your stories. With that being said, feel free to reach out to us and we look forward to seeing everyone in the future. Have a great rest of your week and reach out if you do need anything.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.